Hello and welcome to a Social Media on Fire workshop. Today we're going to be covering how to batch 1 month's worth of social media content in 1 hour. Now you guys, I hope you're as excited about this as I am. This is going to be an action-packed, information-packed session. So get your pen and paper, pull up notes on your computer, whatever you have to do, because we're going to cover a lot of information and it's going to be fun and exciting. And you're going to finish with some actionable steps to take control of your social media starting today and not feel so overwhelmed by all the things you have to do. So let's just jump right into it. All right, so like I said, we're going to cover how to batch 1 month of social media in 1 hour. All right, so for those of you who are brand new to me and my beautiful, beautiful company and team, we are Passion Fruit Marketing Agency. Now, Passion Fruit Marketing is a social media management agency located in beautiful San Diego. We help entrepreneurs and business owners in all stages of their business strategize and simplify their social media presence, helping them to be as profitable and build a community online just as they have offline. Now, I want to just take a moment and explain this a little further because our agency is very different than your typical social media management agency. We go a few steps beyond just managing your content, sourcing images and creating graphics and scheduling your posts. Our mission, our vision for you as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, is to empower you to use your voice, your story, to market your product, to sell your service, to be all the things to your audience. That is what is so important for us. And we truly believe that if we can give you the tools, help you set up the strategy, all of those things to make it easier for you, that gives you that much more time and ability to rock it online and to show up consistently for your audience, to be there, to share what your company is about, your mission and vision. So we want to take away the stress of figuring out how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, so that you can just focus on doing it, okay? Our mission is to empower busy, overwhelmed entrepreneurs with the tools to streamline their social media, meet their online goals, and create a community where they are transparent, open, and the brand of choice for their ideal clients. Our vision is to help millions of business owners feel and see the success of using social media properly to get the message out about their product and or service. Now again, we are all about helping you to streamline, to strategize, to make this as simple as possible so there's no hesitation in you being able to do it. Now, that's my company, Passion Fruit Marketing. I'm sure you're also wondering, if you don't know already, who is Brandy? Who is this person standing in front of you? Why is she teaching this class? Well, my name is Brandy, and I am the owner, founder of Passion Fruit Marketing and the host of the very popular YouTube show, Passionpreneur Series. And honestly, in order to give you a really good representation of me, I got to take you back a few years. So I'm going to share a story with you. In 2004, my mom and I started our first business together, and it was called Embrace Sweets, an online gourmet dessert company. Now, I want to stop right there and emphasize one word in that statement: online. Now, during this time, Mrs. Fields was rocking it out in all of the shopping malls and stores. You had See's Candy popping up everywhere, franchises, locations. And of course, you had your mom and pop bakery and donut shops on, every street corner. So the idea of starting with an online bakery, and not just a bakery, but a gourmet dessert company, was pretty innovative. That was something that wasn't being done a whole lot, and definitely not well. But we knew from the beginning that we wanted to go big. We wanted to reach beyond just four walls and our street corner, our local farmers market. We wanted a business that was global and that we could take anywhere. And I know you're thinking like, well, it's a bakery, you need a kitchen, an oven. Yes, we knew all those things too, but honestly, that was like the least of our worries. We knew we could find a kitchen, a stove, or a refrigerator and supplies pretty much anywhere. We weren't so much worried about that. But being an online business was what we wanted, no matter what. So out the gate, the whole idea of using the internet as a vehicle, as a place, was our intention. And we saw that potential out there to do that. When social media started coming up, and actually Facebook started also in 2004, for me, that's when the light bulbs really started going off. And I didn't know what this was, what was coming. I couldn't put my finger on it or name it, but I knew in my gut, there is something here to pay attention to. This is important. And I wanna be a part of this. So it was really important to us that, we kept an eye out for Facebook and the possibilities of what was going on there and what was coming up, because we saw that this was going to be pretty major and we wanted to be a part of it. So I pride myself on being an early adopter, for one, because if it's interesting, if it's cool, it's creative, if it's something unique, and definitely going to support my business and my goals, I am all for it. I am a part of so many beta tests. I will be the first one in line waiting for the newest, coolest item, gadget, you name it, because that's where vision lies. And being able to take yourself out of this present moment and see what's possible. So, and of course, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a creative, innovative artist, community connector, world traveler, lover of show tunes, yes, any Hamilton fans in the house, bachata dancer, whiskey lover, and coffee drinker. So that's a little bit about me. Let's get to the goal for today. So our goal for today is actually two parts. The big goal, the vision, is that you will leave here with a system in place where in 1 hour, if you wanted to, you could successfully sit down and create a month's worth of social media. That could also mean for you creating a month, a couple months, maybe even a year worth of blogs or blog posts, titles, coming up with themes for your show, writing an email sequence, a launch sequence for your emails, whatever it is. The tools that I'm going to give you, the foundation that we're going to create in this 1 hour is going to help you in whatever project you need to focus on. And again, lots of keywords here, you guys. So really pay attention. The key word in that statement is focus. The second part to the goal is you will learn how to set yourself up for success. What is batch working? How to simplify social media? Where do you get content? And the tools to help with efficiency. And so, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty much in that order. There might be a few other things thrown in there, but we're going to cover a lot, like I said. So I hope you guys are ready. All right, so setting yourself up for success. How to find your happy place, creative place. So for me, setting the foundation for you is the utmost important thing. That is if you take nothing else away from this 1 hour workshop, this masterclass, I want you to be able to understand that your foundation, what you're going to set here today, is the beginning of changing your entire business strategy, your entire workflow, your entire method of organizing, completing, enrolling your staff, your team, your VA, or just yourself and your family into getting what needs to be done in your business done. So the first thing that's required in setting yourself up for success is scheduling a day and time for deep work. So if you're unfamiliar with the term deep work and sprint work, it is actually a productivity term. And so, first and foremost, let's define what it means to be productive. Productivity, being productive, means doing the things in your business that will actually move the needle. Plain and simple. Anything else is busy work. So when I say get into deep work is that productivity time. That's when you're doing the things that will truly make a difference, make an impact in your business. It will lead to sales. It will lead to enrollments. It will lead to new leads. It will lead to new meetings being set up. It will lead to new opportunities. It will lead to really anything that's going to drive revenue, customers, clients into your business to grow and scale your business. Sprint work is the opposite. It's work that can be done quickly when you're in that frame of mind and when you focus just on that. It can be done quickly. It doesn't take a lot of brain power, most importantly there. And oftentimes sprint work can be delegated out. But if you are a solopreneur, then perhaps you are the one that's going to have to do that. And you will have to make time for that as well. But you never want to mix the two. You do not want to sit down at your desk and get into a flow of deep work and then switch over to sprint and then try and switch back, because you're messing with your brain at that point, and it's not good. And we're going to cover that shortly, because that's a whole it's a whole other space, right, where multitasking, monotasking. So scheduling a day and time for deep work and being consistent. My favorite example is that of a writer. When a writer or an aspiring writer decides, okay, I'm going to write my greatest book yet. What do? They commit to a certain day, a certain time to sit down and write. And a lot of them will tell you that it's the same time every day, or 3 days a week, or 4 days a week, but it's the same time. And you start to train your body and your mind that when you sit down in that chair at that desk and get into that state, everything drops in and you're able to center that focus and get to work. And the more you do it, it becomes automatic. That's the beauty of it. So scheduling a day and time for deep work and staying committed to it. The second part, enrolling others. Now, enrolling others could look like enrolling your spouse. It could be enrolling your kids. For a lot of us right now, we are still in quarantine, working from home. So, you went from maybe going to an office where you weren't going to be disturbed or had more control over it, to now working from home, and you've got kids, you've got husband, wife, animals, who knows? So enrolling them into the fact, right, that this time, this day, I cannot be disturbed. Go somewhere else. Do something else. I'm busy. And you put blinders up. Perhaps if it's the opposite and you have a team, doesn't matter the size, but you have to enroll your team onto this project. You have to enroll them on the idea that, okay, every Monday at 10 o'clock for 2 hours, we're going to sit down and get A, B, C, D done. And that's just how it is. And so from that point on, everyone who's involved knows Monday, 10 o'clock, this is where I have to be. This is what I have to focus on. This is the hat I have to wear. Number 3, organize your workspace. Now this I love. I mean, anytime you come into my office or wherever it is I'm working, you're going to see lots of natural light. You're gonna smell essential oils diffusing in the background to keep me productive and excited and feeling good. You're going to hear music. Sometimes it's going to be some loud, crazy reggaeton. Other times it might be some white noise or downbeat music. It just depends on the mood and what I'm working on. But these are the things that I need to keep me engaged and excited and in the workflow. So, working from home, sitting on the couch with the TV on is not the best thing for my workflow. It's not going to help me be creative and drop into that zone and be super focused when I'm being distracted with a television. Being around people who are talking and engaging is not going to be helpful for me because it's going to pull me away from that. But if I am at my desk, and it's a stand-up desk, if I have my essential oils, I have my music playing, I've got coffee, I've got some chocolate nearby, I am ready to go. I know that, okay, for the next 1 to 6 hours, this is where I'm going to be. Let's get this done. So figuring out whatever that is for you. And, let's take this one step further, because when you get into deep work could be a 3-hour session. And yes, you're going to have breaks because breaks are important. You want to get up, stretch, have a bio break. But again, you don't want to pull yourself too far out. And even your breaks are really quick. But the last thing you want to do is you're in it, you're working, you're cranking it out, you're being super creative, you're writing, you're in the flow, and boom, your pen dies. And instead of just reaching over for a new pen that's not there, you now have to get up, go to a file cabinet, look for a box, look for a pen, and then come back. You just that quickly have gone out of flow. So you want to make sure that whatever it is you need to help you stay in that focus zone is within arm's length of you. So again, that could be snacks, coffee, bottled water, pens, extra pens, markers, highlighters, paper, copy paper, making sure you have you're secure with ink in your printer. Everything that you need to be successful. Number 4, figure out how you are inspired. So this particular point is for the social media aspect. When you think of social media posts, Instagram, Facebook, any of them really, it's going to consist of an image, caption, possibly hashtags, and knowing what your point is, what's your intention of this post. Because when you're doing social media for business, it is 100% intentional. I want you to remember that. So write it down if you have to. But when you are doing or using social media for business, it is 100% intentional. Everything you do, you create, you write, you press send, post, needs to be intentional. So figuring out how you're inspired will help with your workflow, because then you'll know, okay, when I sit down to create my month's worth of social media posts, I need to have graphics, and then I can create the captions. Or I need to write, and then I'll find the images to match the writing. Or I need to have a theme or topic, and then I can write and find the pictures to match. There is no right or wrong way here. And there is no what's faster, what's going to get me there quicker. It's all the same. What's important is that you know which direction you need to move and flow in. That makes the most sense for you. Last, number 5, gathering the tools and creating the systems needed to be organized. So this is what we're going to learn in this workshop today. We're going to gather the tools, knowing, okay, obviously your computer, access to images. Maybe, I should have brought it with me. I have this big book of words and phrases. So whenever I'm stuck for like, what's a catchy slogan or a keyword to use, I pull out this book and it helps me write my captions or write the email or start the blog, the subject line. But whatever tools you need to help you be successful. And then creating the systems. Systems we'll get into later, but the things that you can, the apps, the online programs, the things you can use to help you be as efficient as possible in getting this work done so that, again, it doesn't take all day, all week, so much time. So what is batching? Okay, now batching seriously changed my life earlier this year. It hasn't even been that long, but I heard it. It's a catchphrase, batch this, batch that. But what is batching exactly? So the definition for batching is batch working is highly focused, topic-specific forms of working. Now, what does that mean in English? It is dividing your workflow into different days, hours for one topic instead of jumping around from task to task. So now here's where I'm going to introduce multitasking versus monotasking or solo tasking. If you're not familiar with those terms, which I would be extremely shocked if you weren't, multitasking is doing multiple things at once, task, projects, work. Mono or solo tasking is doing one task at a time and then moving to the next. So in this workshop, in my business, when we're working with you, we are only talking about monotasking. That is it. It has been proven that multitasking is 99.9% unsuccessful. It is unreliable. You are more likely to make mistakes and have to redo your work when you're multitasking, and more likely to actually complete a project from beginning to end when you monotask. You are more likely to feel unsuccessful, to feel doubtful, to have angst, anxiety, to be stressed and overwhelmed when you multitask versus feeling complete, solid, proud of yourself, happy, successful when you monotask. Think of it this way. You have so much energy. When you multitask, you are taking that amount of energy and dividing it up. And the crazy part is, you're not even dividing it up equally. So something is always going to be left out. Something's always going to be overlooked, missed, or incomplete. When you take that energy that you have and use it for one thing and complete it, and then move to the next and complete it, and then the next and complete it, it actually doesn't take more time. That's part of the thing that entices us about multitasking. Oh, I can get so much more done in a short period of time, but you don't. When you factor in having to go back, correct, fix, redo, repair, whereas you could have spent less time just getting it done and then going to the next task or project. So for the purposes of this training, and I invite you to use this in all aspects of your business, monotasking, solo tasking is the only way to go. So with batching, that is what we're doing. We are batching like with like. We are focusing on one particular area, topic, theme specific, and then moving to the next. We're not going to sit down and create 10 graphics in Canva or Photoshop, and then also check our emails, and then also do some accounting, and then make a phone call. One, that's multitasking. And two, the biggest part is you're taking yourself out of that creative zone and going into left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain. You're going to be so exhausted and not be able to fully commit yourself to the one thing. So an example of batching would be complete 15 podcasts over 2 or 3 days versus weekly. So now all my podcasters out there or YouTube video videographers, I'm sure you can understand what makes more sense. Setting up all your equipment, doing all the things that you have to do to create the podcast, to create the videos, the lighting, the sound, or even before then, getting your guest, writing the script, after doing the editing, all those things. What makes more sense? Spending 2 or 3 days and knocking a bunch out at one time, and then the next week doing it again, or in 2 weeks doing it again and being ahead, or literally setting up, creating, breaking down every single week for one? I'll let you answer that. Another example, and I love this one, writing 12 blogs for the year versus monthly. So let's just say you have a blog and it goes out once a month. Awesome. Now it's only once a month. So sure, you could sit down once a month and write out a blog, knock it out. But what if you could sit down and in a few hours, let's just give yourself some time. Let's just say over the course of 2 days, like the podcast, in 2 days, knock out 12 blogs and be done for the year. How much more successful would you feel if that were the case? How much more excited and how much more time would you have to put into your business, to work on your business instead of in your business? That time that would have been taken up creating, thinking of topics, writing the blogs, getting it edited, scheduling, all of those things, that's now time you get to put back into doing something else that is important in your business. Third, compiling all your social media posts for 1 month in 1 hour versus daily, which is the goal for this workshop. It is totally doable. It can be done. I also want to remind you to give yourself some grace, because batching, productivity, workflow, all of these things are skills that can be learned. They take time and repetition. So you may not walk out of here today after this workshop and be able to sit down and do a month's worth of social media posts in 1 hour, but knowing that you are developing those skills to do that is what counts. So I don't want you to lose sight of that. Give yourself some grace, be kind to yourself. All right, so I have a coach, and among many things that she is repeatedly telling me, the biggest thing is set measurable goals. Now, how many of you have heard the term, if it doesn't get measured, it doesn't count, basically? Because how do you know if you won? How do you know if you succeeded or met your goal if there's nothing to measure it by? So having a measurable goal means at the end of the designated time, you will be able to gauge whether you fully completed the task or not. So simply put, have a goal, have the end in mind, have a number, have something that you can reference so that when you're done, you know you're done. What is the end going to look like? What does the complete project look like? How many of this am I going to have? So that at the end, if you said, I'm going to have 5, but you have 4, you have to be honest with yourself. You didn't complete the goal. Don't beat yourself up, but acknowledge that and get back to work. Okay? So be in completion energy is another term that I love to use, because again, if you are monotasking, then you are committed. You are committed to creating, starting, doing, and finishing. So it's a complete circle. You want to be in completion energy. And honestly, This only happens if you are focused on what's in front of you at that moment and committed to seeing it all the way through. And allowing yourself or having that measurable goal means you're able to track it. So I want to bring you back to the very beginning of this when we said how many, actually, I said that we're going to create a month's worth of social media posts in 1 hour. But I didn't necessarily say how many posts do you want to actually post in a month. So here's your opportunity. I want you to think about your social media right now. How often are you showing up? How consistent are you? Think about on a regular basis, if you're not consistent right now, if you're kind of all over the place, how often would you want to post? How many posts would you like to get out there a month for your business? That is your goal. So if you say you just want to post once a month, then this workshop is super easy for you and you will be done in about 15 minutes. If you said you want to show up 4 times a day, well, that's a lot of posting. You're going to have a higher number and you will have to figure out what that means for you time-wise and work toward that goal of getting it super streamlined and getting into your workflow that works best for you. But this is what we're talking about. Have a measurable goal. Know walking in how much work needs to be done. And then you're going to be able to just pop it out consistently. So I want you to write that number down, have it handy so that when we get into this, you'll know what to expect. Content pillars. The 5 pillars you must have. Now I put the 5 pillars you must have because honestly, I've been doing this for a while. I've worked with a number of different brands, industries, business types, and these 5 seem to be the most consistent, reliable, and across the board fit for whatever your business is. If you do decide to use something else, or you want to add a pillar or take away a pillar, again, that is totally up to you. Only you know your business. I would caution you though, that again, these 5 work really well and they keep consistency and variety in your post. And most importantly, across the channels, whether it's LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're using, these pillars are useful. They will fit. So what is a content pillar? You might have heard the term categories as well. As marketers, as content creators, we kind of throw around the terms interchangeably. But a content pillar or category helps you to categorize your post on a weekly basis. So that just means instead of 7 days worth of posting and all you're talking about is the sale that you're having and come down to my store or go online to my store and buy this product, buy this bag, buy this shirt, buy this whatever, you're adding some variety in there. Because the last thing you want is your audience to get bored. Either bored from you sharing the same content all the time or bored because they feel like all you want them to do is buy. Instead of inviting them in, giving them something more, bringing them into your company, sharing your mission, your vision, why you do what you do, and painting a picture for them of how this fits into their life. So when you have content pillars set up, you don't feel like you're always selling or oversharing, or worse, running out of things to talk about. The content pillars give you structure and they help you put things in order. Now, how you actually lay them out like a puzzle is totally up to you, but you want to figure out what works best for you and have a good mix on your board. So just staying with Instagram here, what I love to do is you think of Instagram and you see this grid, right? And on most smartphones, you see about 9, sometimes 12 if your phone is really big. But you'll see those, 9, 12 squares. And you want to be able to take your audience, your viewer, your follower on this ride with you. where one day they're seeing behind the scenes, the next day they're learning about your process, the next day you're talking about this new product you're getting ready to launch, the next day you're introducing them to a team member, and then the next time you're sharing a testimonial of how your product, from an actual customer, how that product changed their life. And then you're taking them, on this fun trip with your team after hours. You all go happy hour, drinking or dancing or I don't know, whatever. And then it's back to why you do this, what's important to you. And then maybe the last one is how you're sharing, the organizations that you give a portion of your proceeds to each month or after each sale, that sort of thing. So, your audience has a chance to really get a chance to know you and learn about your business and why you exist, and to fall in love with you, so that supporting you is a no-brainer. Educate, entertain 70% of the time, sell 30% of the time. So I have a formula that I have created, I've coined, and this is actually a part of my bigger online course that's launching very soon. I'm really, really excited about it. It's been a while in the making, and I cannot wait to showcase it, to debut it to you guys. But in this online course, this big online course, this masterclass is a part of that, but we go even deeper. And what I teach in this course, what you have an opportunity to learn, is called the 4E method. I believe that when you decide that moment you create your first Instagram for business profile, your first Facebook business page, when you decide to go online to a social platform and show up for your audience, for your customer, for your future customer, in that way, you make a commitment of 4 things to them. And it's not verbal, it's not a written commitment, but they expect it, and now you're responsible. So now you're probably thinking, what are those 4 things? All right, write this down too. Educate, entertain, empower, and enroll. The 4 E's, the 4E method. On here, I mentioned entertain, educate, but educate, entertain, empower, and enroll are the 4 things that you commit to doing, to offering, to consistently provide your audience when you decide to bring your business online. So educate them on who you are. Why do you exist? Why did you start this company? Who are you serving? What is your product? Entertain them. Bring them behind the scenes. Show them your team, the people that you work with, your suppliers, your distributors, your customers. What makes your business so much more exciting and interesting than your competitors that will help make your customer that decision to buy from you instead of them? Empower your audience to make that decision and to say yes to you, to your service, to your product, to whatever it is that you are about. So you could show up 364 days and just love on them, give them attention, share with them, give them free stuff, just give. And on day 365, you make that sale. You make that offer to them, and you ask them for that sale. They show up because they know you, they trust you, they love you. They have become your biggest fans, your advocates. They are the soldiers on the front line for your business. So whenever anyone decides to talk smack about you, they are there to support you. They are there to set them straight before you even have to. They are the first ones in line when your new product launches. They're the ones that are super excited and sharing with all of their friends about everything that you're about. They're the ones telling their friends, their coworkers, their family to check you out on TikTok, to see your latest story, to jump in on your webinar, your masterclass. This is how you gain a community. You create a community of people who are so excited about everything that you do. And when you do this, you will never, ever feel like you're selling. And you won't have to, because you've educated them on who you are. You entertain them by bringing them in. You empower them to make that decision that you are the only person, the only brand, the only business on the block that can solve their problem. And last, you enroll them. You enroll them that, yes, you want this. You want to be a part of this. This is everything and more that you need and want, even if you didn't realize it. You enroll them into your business, into your service. Do this, and not only will your marketing change, your voice will become stronger, and your place in the loud, busy social media world will be firm, because people will know who you are, what you stand for, what you're about. So when it comes to content pillars, thinking about the 4 E's, the pillars could look like this: about me, introducing yourself, which, depending on how quickly, how fast your, let's just say, Instagram is growing, you might want to do this a couple times a month, because you're getting so many new people to your feed, and you want them to know who you are. They're going to figure it out, but there's nothing like you specifically telling them, whether it's you getting on camera, you posting a photo of yourself or your team, and just making that declaration saying, this is who we are, this is what we do. We're excited that you are following us, that you're on this journey with us. My why. Again, this is part of the education part. So why does your business exist? Who do you serve? Why do you serve them? What was the intention when you came up with this idea? The benefits of working with you. Again, this could be educate. This could also be a little bit entertain as well, depending on your business. So a benefit could be, you will never have to stress over how your lawn looks ever again, because you have hired us and we will come in and make sure you have the best looking lawn in the whole HOA community. That's a benefit. You don't have to stress anymore. And you'll be the talk of your housing community because you have the best lawn. A benefit could be, we will take care of your taxes, so you don't miss the deadline and have to incur more fees. A benefit could be, you will have so much fun. You're going to gain friends, a community. You're going to have a family that you can always depend on, of people who are just like you, like-minded individuals who support you. Showcase the benefits of using your services, buying your product, being a part of your tribe, whatever it is for your business. Behind the scenes. What does your team do after work on a Friday? Where is the next team building retreat? What did you surprise your team with today? Coffee for the office, donuts for the office. Everyone gets a coloring book. We all spent an hour coloring today, getting into our kids zone, happy place, being childlike. Bring them behind the scenes. This is also really great in stories. So if stories is something that, again, freaks you out, you're so intimidated by, and you're not sure where to start using your stories as a way to tell stories about you and your team and what you guys do. The great thing with stories is that it is the place where you can be the most uncurated, the most raw, the most vulnerable, because again, it deletes within 24 hours. You can also delete yourself early if you like, but it's not, well, nothing is permanent, right? But again, it's very quick and it's exciting, and it's a way to quickly pop in and pop out. The last one is showcase a product or service. So obviously, if you are a brand, if you sell clothing, this part should be super easy if you are product-based, because it could literally be showing a glamour shot of the product, the item, and then talking about it If you have an Instagram store, Facebook store, this is where you want to showcase, an item and be able to empower and enroll someone into purchasing on the spot. If you have a service, if you are a coach, if you are a mentor, if you are a writer, this is where you want to talk about your services and what you offer and how they can get in touch with you to learn more. You may not necessarily say, click here to buy now, but invite them to ask questions. Comment in the box below. Send me a DM. Let's connect. Here's my call to action, which is a whole different training, but I do want to say everything you put out, every post, every blog, every email, every newsletter should include a call to action. Otherwise, what are you doing this for? I just want to state along with that because, again, Mark Zuckerberg, any of them could decide tomorrow, I don't want to do this anymore. It's old. I'm on to something else. And Facebook goes away. Instagram goes away. Twitter goes away. TikTok goes away. And all of those people you have worked so hard to educate, entertain, empower, enroll, and get them to follow you are gone. So everything you do needs to lead back to something where you can collect their information. Lead them back to a place you do actually own and control, and that is your email list. That is what an entrepreneur does. They're constantly thinking of, what do I have control over and how can I maximize this? Social media is great. I will be the first one to tell you I am all for it. And yes, you need it. It should be a part of your marketing plan and strategy, but it is not the end all be all. And the only goal in all of this is to build your business, your community, your reputation. And you do that by staying engaged. And you do that through your email list. So getting people to know, like, and trust you so they give you their most prized possession, which, believe it or not, is not money, at least not upfront. It's their email, so that you can continue to nurture them when they're not on Facebook, when they're not on Instagram, when they've disconnected from social media, but they still check their emails. This is where you also want to be. So, creating content. Your content should be working harder than you. I love this phrase, and it's 100% true, because if you are doing it right, and let me stop because it's not a right or a wrong. I never want you to think that. There is a what's working and what's not working. So if you are doing what is working, the way to work it, the best way, is you create a solid piece of content and you find numerous ways to break it up. And everything, all the pieces lead back to the hub, the big piece, which allows you to collect the important information from them, or to get the sale, or to get the signups. So an example, you write a blog, okay? From that blog, you're going to take 2 or 3 pieces of that and create Instagram and Facebook posts talking about the blog that you wrote that launched on Monday. So now Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, you figure out your schedule. You create these posts on Facebook, Instagram that lead people back to your blog. You create a story, or you go live, or you do a Q&A talking about the topic from your blog, leading people back to your blog for more information, for the full content of it. You then create a checklist or a mini guide or a how-to from that blog, which then goes on LinkedIn. And again, when you read this checklist, when you read this guide to learn more, come back to the blog. And then maybe you do a video series. You do a video on YouTube talking about the blog. It becomes a vlog now. Maybe you have a podcast. Your topic of that podcast is the topic of the blog. You have taken one piece, one thing that you wrote one time, and now found a dozen different ways to reuse it. And the beautiful part is bringing people back to the place that truly matters, your website, your lead page where you gathered their information. That is the beauty of content. Do it once and then find a way to disperse it out to the masses and bring them in. So when it comes to content, there's two types. There's what I call trending content and evergreen content. Trending content is more on the spot or of the moment. So for example, I'm a Hamilton fan. Who is not in love with Hamilton, right? And the most amazing, so okay, let me start over. I get so excited. So one of the biggest conversations happening right now, still happening since 4th of July, is the fact that Hamilton and Disney have partnered together. Like, how insane, the most genius partnership ever. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I don't know where you live or what rock you've been under. But Hamilton has been, and I believe it's from 2016, from day one, has been $1 million making machine, multi-million dollar making machine, out the gate Broadway production. Tickets for this show on the low end were $1,500. Okay? This past 4th of July, they partnered with Disney Plus, which is an online streaming platform that shows Disney shows, movies, programs, things like that, kind of like Hulu, Netflix. They partnered with Hulu Plus. So now, for $6.99, you can enjoy Hamilton in the comfort of your home, on your own couch with your own bowl of popcorn. $6.99. Now, granted, nothing replaces being in New York City, in Broadway, in that theater, watching them live on stage. But gosh darn it, I felt like I was when I was sitting on my couch in my living room watching them on my big screen. I was there, and it only cost me $6.99. So what is trending right now is the revival of Hamilton, the amazingness of Disney Plus. If you can find a way to partner yourself with that topic, with that content, you are going to see a spike in whatever it is you're doing. So if you're able to create an Instagram post or a Facebook post and talk about Hamilton and how it affects you, or relate it somehow to your business or Disney Plus, you're going to see a bump because people are looking. Those are key words right now. If that is a part of your SEO, it's going to affect your marketing. You're going to get a few extra eyeballs. Knowing what the trending conversation is in the world. And I say the world, especially if you want to be a global brand, knowing that conversation is going to bring more traffic into your marketing, through your marketing to your business. And that's easy. Now, that is not something you do all the time. You don't depend on it because it is also fleeting. It will get you a boost, which is what you want, and you want to place that strategically, but that's all it is. It's a boost. The meat of your content is going to be evergreen. And now evergreen has one meaning, but it can look different depending on your industry. So evergreen means that it is evergreen. It's always there. It's always relevant. Now, the caveat is you can update evergreen content, which is a beautiful thing by itself. So if you're in an industry where things don't change as quickly, and maybe things change on a yearly basis, let's just say 6 months to a year, okay, 9 months to a year. You write that blog post. You do an epic blog post, right? Perfect. But in 6-9 months, things have changed a little bit. you can now revive that blog post by adding an update. And all of a sudden, this blog post that you wrote, that you committed to, that it was amazing, that did so well, is now reborn just like Hamilton. And all you did was update it. You didn't have to necessarily rewrite the whole thing, but you had to provide the updated version of it and put it back out there into the world. A lot of people don't think of their social media posts as being evergreen, but they can be. And this is where it's important to be relevant, to timestamp some things, but not everything. Because if you have a Instagram post that did killer, right? You got 5,000 likes and 400 shares and, whatever, saves. It did so well. You got 1,000 comments. Why would you not want to repost that 3 months, 4 months, 5 months later? I guarantee you, and this is the thing, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we forget this. We think that everything that we do, that we put out there, is being seen by everyone. And it's actually the opposite. If I shared with you the numbers on how many eyeballs actually see what you post on Facebook, on Instagram, how many people actually open your newsletters, it's staggering how low of a number that is. So when it comes to social media posts, I guarantee you, if you reposted the same picture a week, 2 weeks later, no one would notice. No one would be like, oh my God, they just reposted the same thing. Trust me, no one would notice. That's the thing. So if something did really well, why not repost it? Tweak it just enough if you have to, but repost it. There is no shame in that game. Trust me. So evergreen and trending. A pro tip for you when looking for trending content, Google Trends. So write this down, take a note of this. And after the training, I want you to check this out. It's called Google Trends. It's a free service provided by Google, and it helps you to find out what is the conversation being had in the world. What is trending? What are the keywords? What are people talking about so that you can be a part of that narrative? All right, we're getting to the nuts and bolts of it here and coming to an end. Creating a schedule. Now, this is vital. When batch working, it's important to have a consistent schedule. Now, just like in the beginning with the foundation, committing to a set day and time to work, batch work, you want to be consistent with that. You want to know that on Mondays between 10 and 12, I am working on my blog. I am creating topics for my podcast. I am sitting down and writing captions, whatever it is for you. Set aside the same day every week for the work you need to get done. And very much like writers, here we go again, get into a routine so that when you sit down, when it's time, your whole body knows, your brain switches on, and you can get to work. An example of a schedule would be on Mondays, I batch images. 30 minutes, done. I find all the images that I want to use for that month. I put them in order of how I visually want my grid to look. Tuesdays, I batch my captions, 45 minutes. I work from images, so I look at something and then I create the post with it. Sundays, I take all of that and I schedule. 1 hour, I sit down and I put everything together. Done. Done for the rest of the week. From that point on, I'm just maintaining. So now I want to show you also, this is an example of a calendar that we would use within my business. And so this particular one is great for like a lifestyle brand. So for example, their categories or pillars would be lifestyle, style, beauty, travel, wellness. Post type, Instagram, blog, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. Holiday hashtags or hashtags in general. And then the goal, because once again, if it's not measurable, it doesn't count. So Monday through Sunday, first thing I would do is figure out how often are we posting. So this is just for a month. So I would actually have 4 of these if there's 4 weeks in the month, okay? If we are only going to be posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to just block out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Doesn't exist, I don't need to think about it. Monday, we're going to talk about lifestyle. Wednesday, we're going to cover travel. Friday, we're going to cover wellness. And then maybe next week on Monday, we do style. On Wednesday, we do beauty. And on Friday, we come back to lifestyle. So you're always talking about the pillars in whatever order you want to, but you want to stay, again, you want to stay consistent, okay? So on Monday, we're doing style. We're doing an Instagram post. The hashtags we're going to use. Hashtags you can figure out after you come up with the content, typically, because you want to pull the keywords from the content you wrote. So the caption that you wrote, for example. So hashtag could be, you know, Style Monday, outfit of the day, this outfit rocks, things like that. But whatever's related to the content. If, like on Wednesday, if we're covering travel, I'm going to use travel afar, you know, hashtag travel afar, hashtag traveling today, things of that nature, but that match the theme and the content. Last, goals. So with social media, depending on the post, you won't necessarily say, okay, I want my goal to be, you know, 5 signups or 5 people to you know, connect with me and schedule an appointment. You totally can. That is totally possible. And depending on where you are in your marketing in all of this and how strong your message is, that could be an attainable goal. Your goal could also be, I want 100 likes. I would steer clear of anything that's vanity, likes, saves, shares, repost, things like that. That does not put money in your pocket. So I want your goal to be something that's measurable. So I put out this post. I want to get 5 leads. I want to reach out to 10 people who commented on this and follow up with them and see, you know, if I can help them with their travel plans or what their idea of a great vacation is, that sort of thing. So the goal could be the return, or the goal could be what you intend to do with the results of this post, okay? So that is something you can use for your own business. You can just make it up however it makes sense and works for you. Batching for Instagram. All right, so consider this a checklist. Once you have all of the things in place, you can easily bust through creating your post for the month. So 1, choose your content pillars. 2, write out your captions. 3, choose your graphics and photos. 4, add hashtags. And 5, schedule your post. So this is the fun part here, and I save this to the end because, okay, honestly, when I was in college, I hate it. And it didn't take very long to realize what our professors were doing. But they would teach us the hard way first, the long way around doing it. And then at the very end, the last month, the last week of, you know, the semester, they're like, by the way, you can use this tool and it will save you all this time. But what I learned and what I appreciate is that I also, even though there's a tool, I also know how to do it by hand. I feel confident that if every tool in my box broke down, I could still accomplish what needs to be accomplished because I know how to do it. I know how to put it together. I can make it work. So these are the tools that we use in Passion Fruit as well for ourselves and for our clients. Airtable is amazing. If you haven't heard of it or experienced it, I consider it's like Excel, but on steroids. It does so many things and it's truly customizable. Whatever you are looking to create, to organize, Airtable is you're just gonna be your best friend. It is free. There is a paid option. I have been using it now for about 6 months across the board for everything, and I haven't had to upgrade to pay for it. It fully handles everything I need. And what's really great about it is that it's also shareable. So I can create an entire month's worth of social media for a client, images, captions, everything, have it laid out for them, and send them the link. They can check it, approve it, and then we can get to work. They can make changes. They can move things around. It's a beautiful thing. That is Airtable. Lightroom is paid. I actually just was told there is a free version as well. It is available on desktop as well as on your phone. And it's a part of the Adobe family. And what's cool about it, it's an editing tool. So if you are, you take a lot of your own photos, you have photos and you want to tweak them, change the color, the resolution, things like that. If you're pretty knowledgeable in things like that, Lightroom is going to be your best friend. It is also really great because even if you're not that proficient in like hardcore editing, you can figure it out. Canva and Adobe Spark are my two favorites. So they are both design tools. Canva is super user-friendly, and you can create anything at this point on Canva. This whole presentation was done on Canva. I'm actually using Canva right now to show you the presentation. That's how awesome it is. Adobe Spark, I recommend. I use both, but Adobe Spark is really great if you feel like, and I say this lovingly, if you feel like you haven't a creative bone in your body, because they have so many templates and so many graphics that you can literally just, change the wording to fit your message, but keep everything else, and you will blow it out of the park. People will think you've hired like this hardcore, expensive digital design agency to create your stuff, and really you were using Adobe Spark. It's that cool. Both have free trials. Both are paid services, apps. They also are available on desktop and your phone, so highly recommend. And last but not least, Later.com is my personal favorite online scheduler. So I mentioned with Airtable, you could lay out your entire social media plan for the month and see it and move things around and share it. The beauty of Later.com is that you can do the same thing. You can upload all your images, all your captions, and see how it's going to look, all of it, and move things around and share it. The kicker is that you can then post it directly to those platforms from Later. So Airtable is more like an Excel sheet on steroids. Later is actually the planner, so you can get organized and then post directly to Facebook, to Instagram, to Pinterest, to Twitter. So you're able to post to the 4 major platforms directly from Later. Later has a free version and also a paid version. Both are great. With the paid version, you're going to get a lot more, obviously, analytics and special things, juicy things that can help you when you're coming up with your posts and creating your content. You guys, this has been amazing. I trust that you have gotten just as much information out of this as I have myself. When I put it together, I realized, wow, I have a lot to share here. There's a lot to go on that goes on in creating a post, especially to get into that mindset where you can create it, bust it out in a month. That's pretty amazing. Or 4 months in an hour. So moving forward, Productivity Batching 101 is an online mini course that I have created. This is not the big course. This is the mini course. This mini course covers this masterclass and more. So if you really, really want to get deep into productivity, what that means, batching, what that means, and how to use this in all aspects of your business, this mini course is what you want. This is where you want to be. This course is available right now for $47, and it's lifetime access. So as things change, I will be updating it. I'll be adding new things. There is a way for us to stay connected. So when you are taking the course, you're able to ask questions within the group. I will see them. I will answer. I will be adding new videos and, like I said, updates to it as things evolve and change. Again, this course is $47, and you have the link right there to sign up. I will also be posting it in the feed for you so that you can just click there as well. The other great thing about this course is that, like I said, it's lifetime access as things evolve, and you have access to me and, of course, the Facebook group that you're now in. So you are never alone on this journey. Another option as well is the social media audit and report. So if you feel like, I got this, you know, social media is fine, I have a team that handles it, I think we're doing okay, I want to make sure, which is great. Everyone should be reevaluating their business every 90 days. Social media is no different. With a social media audit, I would come in, I would have access to all of your social media platforms that you want to discuss. We would sit down and review it. I would actually see your engagement numbers, your analytics, what's working, what's not working, and come back to you with the report, letting you know, okay, keep doing more of this, stop doing this. And the goal for the audit is not to all of a sudden have you start paying for ads, but really to streamline and to see what is working and what you can do more of, what you can empower your team to do more of, how you can show up more so that you don't have to pay for ads because organically you're growing your following. So if you're interested in learning more about a social media audit and the report, let me know. It is so great to get your business set up right every time. So why would you want to spend the next 3 months doing it wrong or doing what's not working and hoping for the best when you can know for sure this is working, I'm going to keep doing more of this and keep getting even greater results? So you can DM me, comment below, reach out to me, email me, and we can start that conversation as well. In conclusion, thank you for joining me today, this morning on a Saturday at 10 a.m. I am so grateful that you came to this class, this masterclass, and there's going to be more of these. I'm super excited. I'm pumped to teach you guys more about hashtags and strategy, creating content, all those things, but I need to hear from you. So if there is something that you are just dying to learn more about, that you have questions on, that you want to spend an hour talking about, let me know, and I will create a course, a class around that. As I mentioned, I am launching my big online course, the 4E method, very soon. Pre-sales are going on now on my Thinkific site, which if you go to the mini course, you'll see it sitting there as well. And I'll pop that in the link below. But if you are really ready to take your social media game to the next level as a solopreneur, doing it yourself, or so that you know what needs to be done, you truly have an understanding of what needs to be done, so you can then empower your team, or if you hired agency, they aren't speaking German while you're speaking Chinese. You want to be on the same level playing field, and you want to be able to show up and tell them what you need, what you expect. So if you are ready to take control of your social media, your storytelling, your mission, vision, your brand online, I invite you to check out the 4E method and really commit to bumping up your social media for the rest of 2020 and for 2021. And let me just say, 2020 is not canceled, you guys. There are so many people creating amazing things right now. So if you are ready to be one of those people, one of those businesses, you're in the best spot. And I cannot wait to help you and support you on this journey. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you guys, and we are good. Leave questions, comments below, and I will stay on for a little bit and answer those. And yeah, we're good to go.